Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So we have a new lockbox, the Ensorcelled Lockbox. And this lockbox gives us a kind of unique mount, at least a new mythic mount. The Feywild Griffon. Now technically it's just a reskin of what we can see as the legendary version, the Armored Griffon. When we go and inspect it, it looks like so. Kind of gold and white tones with then some flowers all around it. When we look at the actual powers, the player powers, we have the equip power giving us the opportunism, giving that reduction on our cooldowns, along with the combat power of resonating screech, reducing outgoing damage by the target, stunning them, and increasing your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. However, this is pretty much identical to the Armored Griffon, with opportunism and piercing screech. It's just labeled differently. As for the insignias themselves, you can see the legendary version is limited to using a crescent and 2 universals, while the mythic one you can see has 3 universals, so it'll have all of the insignia bonuses there readily available to all of us. Along with that, in this new lockbox we can get this new butterfly companion, and it does look actually pretty decent to use on a tank with regards to this defense power, giving a 10% chance when hit to gain movement of the butterfly, increasing your deflect severity by 4% for 10 seconds. Now this is pretty much the only source at which you can gain deflect severity. It's very hard to do so other than the Fullhammer Favor Elixir and then of course your ratings, but we can't actually go out of our way to stack that deflection severity rating as of yet, and it is in fact a augment companion, so it will just give you bonus defense, deflect, and awareness, all of which pretty good again for a tank. Unfortunately we can't see the visuals of it here, but I'm going to switch to different character and go and showcase it along with the Feywild Griffon, and we can see what it's like with its combat power and when we ride it around. As for what we obtain from within the lockbox, well, it's not anything unique compared to the last, let's say, 4 lockboxes. We have our enchantments, we have our Jadeites, along with our scrolls of life, cubes of augmentation, bunch of insignias, mount upgrade tokens, companion upgrade tokens, some stronghold vouchers, along with genie gifts, and then those unique rewards here being the legendary Armored Griffon and the epic butterfly along with the mythic Feywild Griffon. And that all comes from this Ensorcelled Lockbox, which will be available later today. You can of course see it has the same trade bar rewards, and upon opening 154 of these lockboxes we got just over 10,000 trade bars, which is worth a significant amount. So here we go. We have our butterfly equipped here. This is on its maximum appearance there, the Enchanting Butterfly. Not sure why the wings aren't visually filled in there. They look very see-through. Let's just switch to a different variant there. We have this one, which looks a lot cooler. Then we have the beautiful butterfly, and we have the elegant butterfly. And those are all the variants, and again of course it's just an augment which is going to give defense, deflect, and awareness to the summoner. As for the butterfly's grace there, we can see it will give you a 10% chance to gain the movement of the butterfly, increasing your deflect severity by 10%, and this being on the mythic rarity with 100% companion bolster. These would be the stats it gives you, which ain't going to be anything unique compared to the other augments except for the enhancement. Now for the actual visuals of the Feywild Griffon, here we have it. It's going to ride just like any of the other Griffons, just visually looks a little different, and that's about it. However, it does have the unique ability that its mount combat power is labeled as Resonating Screech instead of the Piercing Screech as we would have on the Armored Griffon, leading to me to believe that these could potentially stack up on top of each other. You could have a Resonating Screech along with a Piercing Screech to reduce your enemy's outgoing damage by 30%. This would be a mighty debuff on the boss to increase the survivability of your allies, and this is what you would use within a trial scenario. And your Resonating Screech will summon your new Feywild Griffon to screech at your target, and then it will increase your ability scores as such, your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, all by 1, and reducing your enemy's damage by 15% for 10 seconds, and giving that stun of 3 seconds. I believe that stun will affect all nearby enemies, so you could also use it on AoE. However, generally most people will greatly appreciate something more like using the Commander's T-Rex or the King of Spines or even the War-Painted T-Rex, and they would give you an additional buff of increasing the damage taken by the targets along with stunning them for 6 seconds, or at least rooting them. As for the actual equip power opportunism, it's exactly the same as the Armored Griffon. When you activate your artifact, you will reduce all your cooldowns by 12%. So if we were to go and cast an encounter power, then our artifact, you can see it jumped there from 22 seconds to 19 seconds. Not a whole lot in my opinion, but it could help a DPS to get off those encounter powers a lot faster, along with having, let's say, an insignia bonus such as Artificer's Persuasion. When you cast an artifact power, your cooldowns are reduced by 2 seconds. You could stack those up, creating a kind of cooldown reduction build along with, let's say, maximizing recharge speed. So that's going to be everything. Nothing too amazing within this lockbox. But would I go and recommend getting this mythic mount and opening this lockbox? Well, in my opinion, yes. It's ideal to obtain all of the mythic mounts. And if you don't already have the Armored Griffon, you might want to pick this up, especially if you're a healer or a tank, for those trials where you can reduce the incoming damage of your allies. Can be a major benefit for surviving. As for other content, it's not really necessary for anything, and even including Voss, you wouldn't really need this, or anything at a lower challenge from that. So other than it being a mythic mount and now being a total of 5 available to us, it's good for having multiple characters since you won't have to go and upgrade them anymore. I doubt there's going to be a rarity higher than mythic, but you want to be getting this 100% bolster, and every mythic will give you 10%. As for the actual butterfly companion, in my opinion, it's decent for a tank for stealth buffing yourself with survivability. As for this butterfly's grace, I'm not sure if I would want to actually run with it. It's okay, you might want to run with it on a deflect build, so you would stack up your deflect along with deflect severity, and you'll just reduce on a chance those hits by a significant amount. It can be a decent build and can be an exciting one too. Sometimes you might not deflect and you might receive a crit and you might be dead. So hopefully this is at least somewhat helpful to you guys. I'm going to of course go and try get this mythic mount. As for the butterfly companion, I'm not too fussed. I'll probably end up going selling it. As for the trade bars from the lockbox, they're just as good as the other ones. So yes, those are definitely ones you want to be obtaining. However, definitely save those trade bars for a discount. Hopefully I presented this well. If I did, consider the video a like. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.